Right guys, welcome back to another Fly High Media video, and today what I wanted to jump into is landing pages, specifically two different types of landing pages. So what we're going to do is going to digest down what goes into creating the perfect landing page, how they differ from each other, so the two different styles I'm going to jump into, and then we're going to look at some good landing pages or good examples of those types of landing pages, and at the same time some bad examples of those landing pages. So hopefully I don't offend any people, it's all in good nature. So yeah, let's just dive into it. So the two types of landing pages I'm talking about is an e-commerce landing page and a lead generation landing page. Now, those are the two most common landing pages, two most common that we work with anyway with our clients and for our own purposes. In this video I'm not going to show you exactly how to put together a landing page and how to put together all the automated things behind a landing page. But what I'll do is I'll digest down some of the most important aspects of a landing page, what a landing page needs to have for lead generation, what a landing page needs to have for successful e-commerce. At the same time, we'll dive into some of the things that are out there that potentially are not working, and we're going to digest sort of what's potentially wrong with them. So, an e-commerce landing page, what is the most important thing about an e-commerce landing page? Obviously, the fact that it needs to sell the product, right? So, what we're looking for here as a result is add to carts and then click-through rate of people purchasing after they added it to the cart. So that's your number one KPI or key performance indicator of that landing page. One of the most important things, I think, when it comes to an e-commerce landing page or a product landing page is the price of the product or the thing that you're trying to sell on that landing page. Now, we'll find this out from obviously diving into some of the bad landing pages of e-commerce products. But for me, if I land on a landing page and I know it's a product that I have to pay for and I don't see the price anywhere right at the top, and I don't have any idea of how much it's going to cost, if this is something that costs £20 or £200, I'm not going to scroll all the way down to find out. It's not, the content on that landing page is not going to be that interesting. Funnily enough, the landing pages that are out there that don't show the price right at the top, show the price right at the bottom, and they tend to be very, 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 very long. Obviously they're designed to get the person in the mood, get the customer sort of reading part of the journey, part of the story, but from what we see, the shorter the landing page and the more information that is on there, and the earlier you show the price to the customer, to the potential customer, the better the landing page naturally performs. So ask yourself the question, next time you're putting together a landing page or you're thinking of having a landing page put together for your product or your service, ask yourself, what would you like to see, how would you like to find out about the offer, what you're selling, how much it is. Put yourself in the potential customer's shoes, because essentially we're all human. We all have 3 seconds to look at a landing page before we move on to the next thing. We live in a very fast moving environment, especially when you're trying to get your customers to the landing page from a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad. So just bear that in mind. The next thing on my list is imagery. So definitely make use of images, whether it's of the product or of the service itself. So if you're selling tickets to an event, for example, if you've done that event in the past, definitely use images of that event that ran last year or a couple of months ago or whatnot. If not, then at least use some generic style imagery, whether that's stock photos or whatnot, of similar events. That way people sort of can get in the mood of the fact that they're purchasing or looking to purchase an event ticket, and think they can get in sort of in an environment for it by looking at a picture of an event, and sort of they see themselves at there. Same with exhibitions, concert tickets, potentially things like that. If it's a product landing page, naturally you're going to need photos of the product itself, preferably in use. So for example, if you're saying glasses, it's best to actually get some models to actually model the glasses, rather than just having a picture of the glasses on a white background. People always tend to visualize the product on themselves when they see it on other people, which is why big companies like ASOS, for example, H&M, use models, both male and female, for dresses and shirts and things like that, because when you look at it, you visualize that being worn on you, as opposed to just it hanging off a hanger, for example. So it's no different with products that aren't clothing, but like I mentioned, similarly, if it's event tickets or anything like that, definitely use imagery to sort of portray the thing that you're trying to sell. Now, the last thing I want to mention here is product reviews and testimonials. Again, if it's an event, for example, and you ran that event before, get some reviews and get some testimonials from people that have attended it in the past. Don't use fake testimonials because they are very easy to spot if someone knows what they're doing, and also if they're geographically different to where your event is. For example, there's 100 reviews from people in Turkey, for example, but your event is in the middle of Cheshire. It's going to look a bit strange to people, and that's usually what happens when people buy reviews. You can go out and buy 100 good reviews on Fiverr for probably about 5 or 10 quid. But they're all going to be from random countries, random people, they're going to have spelling mistakes and things like that. So it's an unethical way to do things, it's an ugly way to do things as well, and like I said, people don't know what they're doing. They're going to spot that from a mile out. So definitely use good reviews from people that have been to the event. Same with products, people that have purchased the product. If you're just starting out, if you're a startup, first 100 people that buy the product, ask them for a review in exchange for a discount or something like that. Which is a strategy that a lot of even big brands these days are adopting. Sort of refer a friend sort of thing, give us a review for a 5% coupon next time, things like that. What it also does is it helps with your Google rankings if you use a TripAdvisor sort of embed code in your landing page, or a Google reviews landing page, or something like that. That way they come in automatically, you don't have to worry about manually putting reviews in. Okay, so landing page number 2, lead generation landing page. So on this landing page, you're not actually taking any money away from the customer, you're not pushing through any transactions. All you're doing is getting the customer to leave, potential customer, to leave their contact information, ideally an email and a name, in some cases phone number, in some cases other things that they might need to answer in the form, depending on what they're getting in exchange, if they're getting anything in exchange or whether they're just inquiring. But either way, the most important thing with a lead generation landing page is the form. You want them to go there, read what is relevant to them, and leave their details so that you can get back in touch with them at a later date. Now, much like the e-commerce landing page, the thing that you want them to do is to purchase the product. So the first thing you need to show them is the price. Whereas with a lead generation landing page, what you want them to do is to get in touch. So the first thing you need to show them is the contact form where they can actually get in touch with you, or submit their details, or submit their email to get an ebook back in return or whatnot. So keep in mind that the form that they actually put their details into is the most important factor in this landing page. Now you want to put this right at the top, ideally above the fold, so before the scroll. You can get away with putting a button that will automatically scroll them down to a form, but from what we've seen and sort of from what the industry is saying, it's always best to have a short form right at the top of the landing page, so the user can clearly see that this is the next call to action. You land on the page and you can clearly see that there's a form here, I'm clearly meant to be filling this out. Again, imagery, I'm going to say the exact same thing as I said with the product landing page. Use imagery even for lead generation. So if you're doing lead generation, you're giving away a free ebook. Get a mock-up of the ebook. If it's a digital copy, if it's a PDF that you're sending to people, there's plenty of tools out there, even Freepik like I mentioned, or mockupper.com I believe it is. I'll link some in the description, of tools that will help you just design a cover of an ebook. It will place it on either an iPad or a physical look-alike copy of a book. It's just a nice way to visualize what they're getting in return, obviously, for their details. Another big thing with lead generation landing pages is the navigation. So try not to include the menu or the navigation right at the top. You've probably seen it on landing pages that you've landed on from ads. It will be a company website. It will look very similar. The branding will be congruent and everything. But the top, it will just be a logo. It will be missing the actual navigation where you can go to different pages of that website. Now that's done on purpose because when you're sent to a landing page, ideally through an ad, the company that puts out the landing page, they want you to click on the ad and perform what they want you to perform. In that case, fill out the contact form. That's the number one goal. That's the only thing you should be doing on that page. There shouldn't be any links, ideally, to any other pages where you can get lost. Oh, I like the look of that, I'm going to click it, and then you're gone. You've lost the landing page, the ad's disappeared, and you've quit without filling out the form, which is the number one goal, right? So what you want to try and do is put out a landing page that clearly has that one goal for the user that's on it, and they can't sort of venture off and do their own thing on other parts of the website. Now this is a big point with lead generation, especially from ads. If you're getting your traffic to a lead generation landing page from a Facebook ad or Instagram ad, or even a Google pay-per-click ad or organic search result, make sure that what they see on the ad is relevant to what's on the landing page. The last thing you want to do is give people the impression that, for example, they're clicking on something they can get for free, but when they actually land on the landing page, it's not free. Things like that will just increase your ad spend, your budget. People will still be clicking it, you'll still be paying for every click, but when they're landing on the landing page, it's not relevant to what they thought it is. Another common example I use is, for example, if you're a personal trainer or something, and you put out an ad for how to lose 10 kilos in X amount of time, for example, people go through the landing page and they don't see a piece of information for that. They see a piece of information for how to keep a healthy diet or something generic. Or, people click on that ad because what they read there is relevant, obviously, to what they're feeling or what they want to get information about. And when they click on it, thinking that they're going to get information about what they just read, that information is not there. They're going to quit and leave. So make sure the titles are all congruent. Make sure that what you're offering in your landing page or what they're meant to do on that landing page is congruent to what they're being offered on the ad that takes them there in the first place. So it's both in the benefit of the user, stops wasting their time, gives them the information they want. At the same time, it's your benefit because you're not wasting money on clicks from people that aren't actually interested in your stuff, because you've effectively clickbaited them. Right, now that you've got a lowdown on the most important parts about e-commerce landing page, the most important parts about lead generation landing page, I'm going to run through some tips and some things to consider and some things to remember, and this applies to both really. So number one will be congruency to the theme. Now the first thing I want to mention is branding consistency. So you've got to ask yourself, is your landing page congruent and consistent with the rest of your website? And is your landing page congruent and consistent with your branding, so your logo, your color scheme, your typography, fonts, things like that? The reason being, if somebody is on your main website and clicks through to your landing page, which is not built on the same system, which sometimes does happen, because there are so many sort of pieces of software and things like that where you can easily build landing pages, chances are you might have a difficult time making your landing page look the same as your website. So just make sure you take a look at your branding, so your color schemes, your typography and things like that, and make sure your landing page is consistent with what's on your actual website. And this goes the same for your branding, so things like your logo. Make sure that your logo is actually reflected on the landing page. I see so many landing pages for companies and even individuals, and there's not even a logo on there. Whereas on their social media, on their Instagram, Facebook profiles, Facebook pages and things like that, they have a logo. So if people are coming from Facebook, they see a logo there, it clicks because people remember brands and things like that. Especially with imagery, if they go to the landing page and that logo is not there, it's a bit disjointed. So yeah, make sure it's congruent with your website branding and your social media branding as well. The next thing to consider is relevancy. So I already touched on this point with the lead generation landing page, but it applies to the product landing pages as well. Make sure that what the ad shows is relevant to what is shown on the actual landing page. So to get the product landing page example, if you get a product ad for a phone case, for example, for one particular phone case, for example, a red phone case with yellow stars on it, the user clicks that ad thinking they're going to get a landing page where they can purchase that exact phone case, and you take them to a generic landing page of hundreds of different phone cases, for example, and they have to sit there and scroll through, look for the one that they just saw on the ad that they liked. That might be a bit of an issue. As I mentioned before, you might get people clicking on the ad, which is costing you ad budget money, and in return you're getting users that are landing on the landing page, not seeing what they've been shown in the ad, and leaving as a result of it. So yeah, make sure you don't sort of, as I said before, clickbait people into clicking an ad and then having to look for what they've been shown in the ad for themselves, because that's going to... Now, next point is a very, very big one. Can't believe I haven't mentioned it already in this video, and that is mobile first traffic. Now, if you're running your traffic mainly from ads like Facebook, Instagram, even Google, chances are 90% of your traffic is going to be mobile traffic. People react to ads the most on a mobile phone. Because we use our mobile phones, Facebook, Instagram, like that, things like that. Because we use Facebook and Instagram on our phones whilst we commute on our lunch break and things of that nature, make sure your landing page is very, very good on mobile. In fact, you should check whether it's good on mobile first before you actually adapt it to desktop. Now that depends entirely on what system you build it on and things like that. Whatever you build your landing page on, we recommend WordPress always. But whatever you build your landing page on, make sure that it's properly scaled to mobile devices, because like I mentioned before, you might get people clicking it on mobile and leaving straight away, costing you ad budget money, just because the text is too big, images aren't resized and things like that. So always check your mobile landing pages before you publish them. Now, some top tips that I just want to run through. Stay clear of ClickFunnels. If you don't know what ClickFunnels is, it's a service that basically you can pay a little bit of money for and you can have a ClickFunnels landing page or website, whatever they call it. What it is an amateur and sort of ugly and limiting way of creating landing pages. Every single ClickFunnels landing page looks the same. If you show me a landing page that's been created on ClickFunnels, you can remove all of the default things from it. I'm still going to know it's ClickFunnels. They are built for get-rich-quick schemes and things like that. You ought to see ads and posts about earn £1 million by the next 30 days from social media marketing, things like that. They're always built on ClickFunnels. People like that and companies like that always use ClickFunnels. A lot of people that I speak to these days even pick up on the fact that I don't really want to use the word scammy, but it sort of fits the scenario. Sort of people out there in the industry use ClickFunnels. to generate leads for things like that. So yeah, ClickFunnels, if you can, steer away from it. It's not even the cheapest way. Always look into WordPress or drop me a message. I'll sort of point you in the right direction if you are building a landing page for yourself. But yeah, my top tip is just always stay clear of ClickFunnels when it comes to landing pages. Another top tip is keeping forms to a minimum. Nobody wants to fill out a form where it takes forever, or there's even a step 2 and you have to go to a different page to carry on filling it out. If you're sending people an ebook in exchange for their contact information, it could be as simple as the email address and name, just so you can personalize some emails. Obviously GDPR in the UK and in Europe generally come into that as a sort of two-step verification. But in terms of the actual fields that you ask them, in terms of the information that you ask them, you don't necessarily need to ask them for a company size, for the registered business address, for their interests and things like that. So always try to keep forms to a minimum, because people will just become disinterested, right? And they'll leave if they've had enough filling out the forms. And the next big point is keep your landing pages short. I don't mean just put a price on that in the form. Do put some information out that is valuable to the customer, like I mentioned, testimonials, a brief overview of what the product or what the service or what the free ebook will do. But don't try and tell a massive novel or a massive story with the landing page. I've seen some absolutely shocking car wrecks of landing pages that just go on forever. We're going to review one of those in a second, just to show you what some of them look like and sort of what to be wary of and what not to do, basically, in my opinion. And yeah, what that will allow you to see is basically some good examples of landing pages, some bad examples of landing pages. And that will be reflected in Google Analytics, for example. If you look at time spent on landing pages, if you can clearly see that time spent on your landing pages is about 10 seconds, and you know for a fact that to read everything on your landing page, it takes about 2.5–3 minutes. You know that people aren't utilising all of the effort that you've gone to put all that information there, and even more so if people haven't clicked through to actually sign up or buy or whatnot. It's even more wasted time and effort, both on your side and the customer side. So keep landing pages to a minimum, and yeah, we'll go through some examples in a minute. Now, tracking results is obviously something that's very, very important from every landing page. So with a product landing page, you're going to want to track results by how many purchases there have been, and with a lead generation landing page, you're going to want to track results in terms of how many conversions you've had of people either downloading your book or filling out a form that pops into your email inbox and things like that. So for product landing pages and e-commerce, if you're running on Shopify, WooCommerce, Big Cartel, things like that, obviously e-commerce platforms that have this stuff built in, you're going to easily be able to see, on Shopify or on WooCommerce, on WordPress, a breakdown of how many purchases. Now with lead generation, it's a little bit different. There's several ways that you can do this. Obviously the number one way is literally, if people are filling out a form, it's coming to your inbox, you can manually count all the forms that have come to the inbox. It's a very manual way, it's not 100% accurate, and you're going to get bored of it, potentially make some errors as well if there's a high volume. Nobody wants to count 2,000 form entries. So the best thing that you can actually do is set up what we call a thank you page, so a success page. What this can be is literally just a page on your website that says thank you for contacting us, thank you for filling out an inquiry form, or thank you for downloading this ebook, whatever it may be. Take the URL of that page and put it into Google Analytics as a goal conversion. So basically what that means is Google Analytics will track every visit to that page as a goal, as a conversion. So anybody that goes to that landing page can only go there by filling out the contact form, because what you can do on the contact form is you can connect the submit button or the send button or the inquire button to redirect the user directly to that success thank you page. So meaning the only way you can land on that success page is if you filled out the form. Now this is a very accurate way of doing this, because nobody else can land on that page apart from people that filled out the form. And what you can then do is on Google Analytics set up the goal conversion for that page and basically look at how many monthly visits there have been to that page. If it's 1,000 visits, then you had 1,000 leads. Obviously you're going to know that by judging their inbox and things like that as well. Another thing you can do is actually connect your contact forms to HubSpot or any other CRM, but we recommend HubSpot just because that's what we use, that's what we recommend all of our clients to use as well. And what that does basically is allows the form to obviously go into your inbox, but what it also does is it goes into a CRM database like HubSpot, where you can then handle all your, for example, leads. What you can then do is you can have all these forms automatically be sent into HubSpot. Especially with WordPress, there's a very easy integration for that. Just download the HubSpot plugin and connect the HubSpot account to the WordPress account. Depending on what kind of form you're using, it should be fairly simple to set up. Right, so the first we're going to look at is the good example of a e-commerce landing page. So Here is a landing page for a chatbot summit. So it's basically an event in, I believe in Berlin or in Germany somewhere. Yeah, Berlin, there we go. In December, and they're selling tickets for an event about chatbots. So the main things about it is, like I mentioned at the start of the video, imagery of past events and things like that. Now I don't know if this is, you know, their event from last year, for example. The image in the background here of the lady sort of looking very interested in the event. That helps because I see myself sitting in that crowd wearing that lanyard. I assume it is their event because it's, you know, the branding matches. The lanyards are pink. Their event sort of branding here is pink. So I envision myself sort of sitting there amongst the other people in that event, sort of taking in the knowledge. Picture in the background here, yes, it's a little bit blurry, it's not the best quality, but again, it shows me, you know, what kind of event it is. I was going to see VIP tables there and things like that. There's a big screen, big stage, some speakers, things like that. So again, helps people visualize what it's like. As you can see, one point that I mentioned earlier on as well that's quite important, especially to me, is the prices. So I can see I don't have to scroll through a massive landing page, read a ton of unnecessary info before finding out whether this event costs a tenner, whether it's free, or whether it's 10 grand. Because some events you see out there, some events are really cheap to attend, some events are really expensive to attend. Also, the price shows you sort of the level, the level that it's at. At these prices, chances are the people going to those are going to be sort of professional marketers. So, prices right at the top. Tick, I can see there's 3 different packages: 350 euros, 475 euros, 900 euros. It would be even better if they had some sort of a plugin to convert those into my local currency, because you can pick up the IP address that I'm in the UK, turn those into pounds, for example. But I'm not going to be picky here. They're doing a good job anyway. I can see a bit of breakdown of what this one will get me, what this one will get me, what this one will get me. You can even get in touch with them on WhatsApp if that's your thing. That's here as well. I assume if I was on mobile, I don't want to check this right now, but I assume if I was on mobile and I click this on mobile, it will actually take them to their number for support about the event and things like that. So that's quite a neat thing to have. As you can see, call to actions buttons everywhere. So I clearly know what I'm meant to do. I'm here to get my ticket. Get my ticket, get my ticket, get my ticket, get my ticket. Additional notes, FAQs are something quite big as well that I see on landing pages. They can be quite successful. Usually they're added in after a month or so of the landing page being running, because chances are they get a load of the same questions on their WhatsApp group, for example, or people emailing them. And it's a good thing to have, because if a lot of people are asking that question, chances are it's a frequently asked question, which is what obviously a FAQ is. So yeah, having that there is very positive. And at the bottom it has a map of where it is, so I'm already planning sort of where roughly it is. I'm not actually going to this thing, I just want to stress, it's just an example sort of that I got hit with an ad, and I thought it'd be good to use as an example of a good one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click get your ticket. What it does very easily is it takes me to some more information about that particular day. So there we go, I can already buy a ticket. There's no thick info to get through. There's no unnecessary things to read. I don't have to watch videos. I don't have to click next. I don't have to put in any forms. Some events I've seen, and even things that are built, like I said, ClickFunnels, to even get to this stage, I have to put in tons of info, my email address, things like that, just to have the liberty of being shown what the price for the event is, for example. So yeah, that's something that's very positive, that I can just click it, pick how many tickets I want, and click checkout, and that takes me straight to a checkout field with some questions to ask, obviously for badges and for things like that. You go and you pay, and that's essentially it. So that's an example of a very good product landing page. People land on the landing page, and the relevancy is quite good as well, because exactly what I was shown in the ad, I wish I saved the ad actually, but exactly what I was shown in the ad is what I saw here. It was a chatbot summit, 3 different types of tickets, the branding was congruent, I saw the same logo, I think it was even the same picture of the same lady on the ad. So when I land straight on here from the ad, I'm in the exact same zone, I know exactly what's happening. So yeah, I approve. Now, to a bad example of an e-commerce landing page. So we land on a landing page similarly to the chatbot summit one. These guys are selling not tickets, but they're selling entry to a course or something like that. And as you can see, it's very, very different to the one we've just been on. First of all, I cannot see a price anywhere. Second of all, I'm not actually sure whether this is a small workshop or big workshop. Yeah, there's a picture in the background, but I can't see a price anywhere for how much this costs, whether this is actually free. I didn't see a price on the ad itself. Yes, there's fantastic reviews there. They take a little bit too much to scroll through. There's an interactive piece of actually it's not even interactive, I can't pause it in any way. There's no need for this basically, because I can't pause any of it to read it. For all I care, this could all be in a different language. So that's useless. Pictures that are irrelevant to the course. Yeah, I really don't care where this guy's been on holiday. Also, bad quality screenshots like that are never good on the landing page. Client multiplier maps. So is this a different product that I'm looking at? So this is what I mean by distractions. They've actually done a good thing, and they haven't got different links in the navigation in the menu to take me somewhere else. But there's so much here that I get distracted by alone. Like, for example, is this a separate thing that I can download? Like this client multiplier map thing? I would imagine that, like, for a good landing page for this would be enough. This would be enough. If this info, I'm not going to read it now, but if this info is relevant to the client multiplier maps ebook thing, I imagine, I'm going to download it. But they've just sort of put it in the midst of sort of all other types of words and stuff that I'm just not reading because I just don't have the time. See, this is what I mean. This is a good example of what I was talking about earlier. I clicked on an ad for, I even forgot what it was about, but it was a course for Facebook ads, scaling Facebook ads. I might not want some of these bonuses. I might not want about, might not want to read about 1 full year of insider's access to your 7-figure per month expert business, for example. I'm here just for that one course. If I'm not showing that one course, I'm gone. The only reason I'm still here is because I want to explain this stuff to you guys. Will I actually get to the price? Where is the price? There we go. $49. Cool. Right, why is this? Can you see the scroll bar right at the bottom here? Why is this all the way down here? This should be right at the top, because reading all of that is not worth my £49 in my opinion. Some testimonials that are far too big for the actual screen size. I don't want to check this on mobile right now, but chances are this is going to look absolutely huge on a mobile, and it's going to take about 3 scrolls per one of these testimonial boxes to actually scroll past to get to the next one. So if it's this long on the desktop, I dread to sort of even think what is the length of this landing page on the mobile. Another thing is branding. So some things are yellow, this button is green, some of the headings here are blue, their logo isn't even on the page. The top is brown. I actually really like the top. When I first saw it, I thought it was nice and greyed out with some gold sort of undertones, and then I saw this massive blue thing. I thought, okay, they're using some blue as well. And then I scroll down and now I see like a massive green button, which just isn't congruent with any sort of branding on here. So click to get the advertising workshop now. Let's click it. What happens now? I get taken to a page that looks nothing like the one we've just left. This looks so much different. This is what I mean. Good product landing page, nice and congruent. You click it, everything looks exactly the same. Fantastic. This landing page, I mean, it's disjointed as hell by itself without me even clicking on anything else. I click this and I get taken into something completely different. Yeah, let's leave that there. Let's leave that there. So you can, I think you've picked up enough of sort of what's good about that first landing page and that second landing page, or even the whole process of clicking through to the purchase page, whereas here clicking through to the purchase page. If they've got a logo, traffic and funnels, for example, why isn't this on this page? Because if it was on the ad, and again I can't remember exactly whether it was on the ad, but best place to put it would be on the ad, on here, and then on the checkout page. And just the fact that it's not, just shows me that not much effort has gone into this. A lot of this looks like copy and paste. And I would actually like to know the sort of success rate of this, and this is just annoying here. So yeah, let's just move on. You can see my frustration with this. Now we dive back into a good example, this time of a lead generation landing page. So as I mentioned before, first most important thing is the form. As you can see here is a social media data cookbook for marketers, and there's a form right here. So I'm expected to fill out my name, last name, business email address, company, country. Again, even though I'm using this as a good example of landing page, because the landing page is actually very informative. There's a lot of info here, it shows me exactly what I want to do. There are a few things that I want to pick out that could have been done better. So imagery, there's not actually that much imagery here. I can't actually see what's behind this in the banner. A nice little visual of the actual cookbook would be cool. Obviously this is a digital product, so a visual of the digital product would have been quite cool. The form, I think my name, my business email address, and my company name would have been enough. I don't think you need to know my country, number of employees, industry, title, but obviously Hootsuite are a very big company. They use this obviously for lead generation. So to them knowing number of employees and the industry and the title is actually quite beneficial, because obviously they can then put you in a separate list of what they want to sell you. The branding is congruent, you know, blue call to action with the blue background. This is sort of dark navy. The logo is black. All of the you know, fonts and stuff are quite relevant. So I like this one. So now let's jump into a bad example of a lead generation landing page. It's a very similar thing. They're giving away a copy of social media ebook. Now, obviously, the first thing on that, actually a positive that I'm going to mention, is the mock-up. However, when I land on this, I get no value up until I scroll down. All I get is the title, whereas here, obviously, I can still read a bit of a blurb of, you know, 11 simple, useful, and completely practical ways to use social media data. Obviously, there's a form which informs me of, okay, they want me to fill this out in order to get this cookbook sent to me, so I already know what I'm doing. Whereas with this one, first thing I see is obviously the title, then I'm distracted by some share this post icons to different social media platforms, then I'm distracted for other things that are free. When I first arrived on the page, this opened up a big bubble, not quite big like that, but this opened a big bubble of, how do I close this? Of the sort of a live chat thing, which again on mobile, if it's not disabled, is going to cover half of the page and it's going to steer people away. And now we dive into some of the content here. So I haven't actually read through the content, but I can see that again, not a massive amount of effort's been put into this. Design wise, some text is left justified, some text is middle justified. There's a somewhat irrelevant GIF here. Again, I don't feel it's congruent with the rest of the branding. I think it would have been cool to use, for example, some icons that are relevant to them. Again, I don't know this company, I'm just using it sort of as an example. So if anybody from Moto CMS is watching this, I'm sorry. Reason 4, reason 5, reason 6. Okay, so it's just basically showing me through what are the reasons why I should download this thing, I assume. It might be a little bit too much. I mean, this sort of persuasion, I mean, if they're trying to get me to buy something that costs hundreds and hundreds of pounds, I might need that sort of persuasion. But to just download one ebook, I don't think I need. I don't want to do word count on this, but I don't think I need 1,000 words worth of persuading to download it. So again, I think the landing page is a little bit too long to actually get me to do the thing that they need me to do. Now, speaking of the thing that they want me to do, on here, as we can see, first thing, bish bash bosh, there's a form. I know I need to fill it out to get this thing that they're talking about. Here, you know, all the benefits are listed and all that stuff, but I don't actually know what I'm meant to do until I scroll all the way down here to the download free, which doesn't even make sense. Download free, or is it meant to say free download or download free ebook? I'm not sure. But to the basic call to action button instructing me to download. Now, if I click it, it just pops up with enter your email, which obviously is fair enough. The form is quite short, I'll give them that, but it did take me quite a while to obviously scroll past all that. I didn't even read it. Chances are most of the people that land on this landing page don't read it, but yeah, it does take a while to get down to that bottom call to action button to see clearly what you're meant to do. Right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'm going to leave this video here. Hopefully you've enjoyed this new sort of style that we're trying to do, interacting with some of the things we find online and sort of explaining through some of the things, as well as some of the benefits of obviously whatever topic we're talking about. So if you like the sort of the style, let me know in the comments. If you didn't like the style, let me know in the comments as well. And yeah, I hope you've got some value out of this. If you have any questions, drop me an email, which should be down in the description somewhere or on my profile, wherever this is, and we can chat about your landing page from there. But I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.